Is it permissible to read fictional stories? Is it permissible to read fictional stories? It's interesting because the next lesson that we have coming up on Imam al-Tirmidhi's Shama'il al-Muhammadiyya, which is a current course that we host in Seekers Guidance, I do welcome you to register for that course. It's absolutely beautiful to spend time and learn more about our beloved Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I have the privilege and pleasure to teach this course here on seekersguidance.org. And the course takes place on a Monday night, 9 p.m. South African time. In the next lesson, we will deal with a story, and it essentially teaches us the origin of fictional stories within the context of 7th century Arabia. They used to refer to fictional stories as khurafat. And it actually comes from the name of a person who, legend has it, was taken by the jinn, and they kept him for some time. And when he returned, he had all sorts of weird and wonderful stories to speak about of what he witnessed and experienced. Since then, strange stories, fascinating stories, fictional stories within 7th century Arabia is generally referred to as khurafat. And there are some examples of stories being told among the Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala anhum about various things. So, in principle, a story is permissible to read and to tell and to relate if it contains some, or rather I should say, if it does not contain anything that would prevent one from engaging in it. In other words, nothing haram. If a story is free from haram, unlawful content, illicit relationships, indecent behavior, profanity, etc., that's central to the story. If it's free from all of that, then technically it is permissible to read, because essentially it's a form of entertainment, but it's also a form of learning. It's a form of stimulating the mind. So there's benefit in it, and Allah knows best. But what is important to take note of beyond just the level of, oh, okay, it's permissible technically, is that we should also be conscious of what we consume and how much we consume. For whether you are an avid reader or whether you watch content online or you watch content on a screen, understand that whatever we consume with our eyes, with our ears, with our mouths, with our hands, any sense, even what we think about, the more we engage in that pastime, in that consumption, it is tantamount to spending time in the company of the people who we are engaging in, their stories, their way of thinking, their writing, their thoughts. And it is critical for a believer to give some reflection and consideration before just, unashamedly spending so much time with a particular person or in a particular world. That would be the same as spending that amount of time with that person in their company. So we can then draw on the lessons from the Sunnah as to the effects of good company and bad company. So if the content that we are reading or consuming is good, and when I say good, I mean it is in line with the morals and ethics of Islam, then inshallah there's benefit in it because we are spending time in good company. It is as though we are following in the command of وَاصْبِرْ نَفْسَكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ رَبَّهُمْ بِالْغَدَاةِ وَالْعَشِيِّ, to an extent, because we're spending time. So if it is morally good and motivational and there's benefit in it, then it's like spending time with a good friend. On the flip side, if we engage in material that's either sort of fruitless, frivolous, not specifically beneficial, or even worse, harmful, immoral, unethical, and our attitude is we're going to engage in it simply because it's just words, it's just a story, we're just observing it, we're not taking anything in. That's like spending time with a bad friend. And even though you have no intention of being like this friend, the reality is the more time you spend with that friend, the more of that friend's qualities rub off on you. So I would like to, give the answer that yes, it's permissible, provided that the content in your fictional literature is not unlawful. However, still don't become like those who think that reading is everything. And as long as you're reading and reading and reading and reading, regardless of what you are reading, you are growing and you are improving. It also means you're spending a lot of time in the company of a lot of different people. And if you do so without any consideration for the level of morality and ethics involved, then that may be detrimental, and Allah knows best. If you can, however, manage to اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق, read in the name of your Lord who created, read beneficial material, read even fictional stories, but that it leaves you with a message that actually makes a difference in life, that actually improves your quality of life or makes you learn something, then inshallah that will be good, and Allah Ta'ala knows best.
لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله.